20 days away now, full disclosure. You agreed to be my election agent, and I am very, very grateful for that. Now, in most cases, that's a very, very big job. But in your case, since we're not raising any money and we're not really spending any money except what comes out of my pocket, it becomes a very easy process for you. And you just have to make sure I don't libel anybody.
Yeah,
so if I say something bad, hit me.
I wanted to help a mate as well.
Yeah, it's a good man.
You know, and I think these things are important, you know.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing, though, is that it didn't stop the eye, because I know you've been investigating this particular race, and as well as the history of the Tories in the Vale of Glamorgan.
Yeah, I mean,
tell us a little about that.
We've got a situation where the Welsh Secretary, Alan Cairns, may have spent more than he is entitled to do legally with the election, the general election in 2015, when he was returned as the MP for the Vale of Glamorgan. And his agent and he and the expenses are under police investigation, I have found out, for issues in relation to his election expenses. Accepting inadmissible donations, spending more than you are entitled to, going over the limit, that sort of thing. And so he and his agent, then agent, now Tory Assembly candidate for Vale, as you know, Ross England, are under investigation by the police. And I've just heard that this has now gone to the Economic Crimes Unit and is about to be, or has been, referred to their lawyer in South Wales Police, and a prosecution may follow. We don't know. I mean, this is a very difficult time for politicians and, finances, because everything is under the spotlight.
Well, the interesting thing is that, it wasn't here, but I know I think it was in England. A similar issue came up in terms of overspending, and they were deemed to have overspent during the campaign. And again, it was related to the Conservative Party. What is the issue? I mean, we've talked about at length this. They started with a 4-page wraparound of the Gem newspaper.
Yeah, that's an investigation as well. Actually, can we get that up on the screen? I probably can't.
Yep, put it up on the screen.
Basically, this wraparound, the Glamorgan Gem, is identical to the gem that you have here, and a lot of people are up in arms about this, and because it's obviously a Tory fake newspaper, with headlines like Ross England set to be the next AM, all that sort of thing, and that's also part of the police investigation. Because a lot of people feel a little bit duped by this, because they are expecting their local paper, the Gem, and instead they get this wraparound of the Glamorgan Gem with the headline of Ross England to be the next AM, and that is also under investigation.
Well, I mean, I've been in the business of advertising for years, and an advertorial is, as it says, I mean, it is an advertisement that also has an editorial component to it. But when you come across something like this, most publications are very, very strict in what can and cannot be done with their masthead. Yeah, so that if you're...
The masthead's almost identical, isn't it?
It is identical in
Yeah.
every way. The only thing that's missing from the Tory ones are the two little ad spots on the top left and right that they sell. Normally, they didn't put anything there. But if you were to look at the two on the screen again and cover them over, you would see that the Gem masthead is identical, and it has but one purpose, at least from my perspective and my view, and that is to deceive. That is to deceive people into thinking that they are reading the Gem newspaper.
Because it's even got the crest on, isn't it?
It has the crest, has the whole masthead. Type font is slightly different. Okay, I'll give them credit for that. Their spacing of the actual articles is slightly different, and at the end of the day, it's almost impossible to tell the difference. And in that first article, the one that you mentioned, they say our reporter has learned, or something to that effect. You say, oh, so now you're begging the question, whose reporter? Is it the Tories reporter who helped to write this? Is it a reporter from the Gem newspaper group, because now you've got a clear crossing of the line between editorial and publishing.
And this paper, in inverted commas, has got loads of pictures of Ross England with Alan Cairns and stuff in it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't understand why somebody would do that. It seems on the surface to be very amateurish. I mean, why seek to deceive in that way if all it's going to do is inflame people? I don't understand that one.
I mean, if they've got this thing in it, I think, where they say this is a conservative publication and all the rest of it, in fairness. But there are rules about those sorts of things anyway.
Well, we're also up against some deadlines here.
Yeah,
Because this came out just before PERDA. And PERDA, for those that are watching in the States, is the point after which the assembly is dissolved. We essentially have no government now at this point in the country.
Or AMs.
Or AMs. I mean, we have ministers in the event of an emergency, but there are no AMs until the election on the 5th of May.
Yeah.
Now, up until the dissolution of the Welsh Assembly, you're in what's known as the long campaign. And you can spend more money, you can raise more money, and you can account for more money. And then from the 5th on, it's a very strict limit. I believe they told us in the meeting it's about £15,400 based on the number of people in the Vale plus the amount that you're allowed to spend. So it's about £15,400. Now, you can look at both of these publications, and together you know that they would have shot their entire short campaign budget printing and distributing that number of...
I mean, absolutely. We don't know how much was spent. But we do know, and we can prove, that it is under investigation by the police, and the police have had enormous problems getting the invoices and documentation they need from the paper in relation to the costs. And they say, and I'm quoting here, we have been jumping through hoops to get this sort of information. I mean, this sort of stuff should be immediately available, or should be publicly available. And so if the police are having trouble getting it, what about us? Ordinary people, we pay their wages after all. Yeah. So this should be up there, shouldn't it?
Well, I mean, I can't understand why you wouldn't be able to put your hands on invoices of that sort immediately. Literally, I'm looking at a stack here of bills related to the purchase of paper and ink, and all of my Facebook adverts have been purchased out of the same account. So at the end of the day, putting together a report with backup should take no more than about an hour.
I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand why the police, and as I say, they are jumping through hoops to get this stuff, and have now got this stuff finally, and may prosecute.